So with me today, I have Anthony Peachey, the marketing director. I guess I should know my boss's title, right?
I guess. I don't know.
So, Anthony, how you doing?
I'm good. I have some questions.
Oh, go for it. Go ahead.
What am I doing here? What is this? What is this program?
So really, what we're trying to do is give a little insight to, some of our folks in the business, maybe give a little direction on, what their job role entails, and maybe some things that we don't necessarily know, right, in depth. We hear it from afar, like, oh yeah, marketing does this, but maybe just getting a little bit more deeper in that. And then usually towards the end, we'll ask a couple of fun questions,
Right.
and get to know you as a person a little bit better.
That should be fun.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see where those questions go.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. From a marketing perspective, obviously we both work in marketing. What do you feel is the biggest challenge facing either your role or marketing in general currently within CS?
That's a tough question. Well, I mean, priorities are always a challenge, right? Lots of requests coming in. How do you set the priorities? How do you choose which product or which project gets the focus, gets the resources? Every department has resource limitations, so it's a matter of setting the priority, making the hard decision of what to say no to, or what to say not yet, and then get cracking on the projects that are the priority, and then keeping that focus, because like I said, there's always requests that are coming in that there's an urgency to them, and it's like that trade-off of like, this was our focus, we're now being asked for this, the resources aren't there, so if this does become a priority because it has to, then another project slows down or goes on hold, or things just have to pivot. So that juggling of requests and balancing resources is always a challenge, and I think every department deals with that in some regard.
Sure. I know something, pertaining to my role specifically. We got done about 2 months ago with the brand guidelines.
Yes.
Got that rolled out. Basically standardizing, how we speak, how we look, across the company, trying to standardize that. I know that's been in the works ever since I got here 6 years ago. But where do you see a challenge with the the brand guidelines themselves?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the challenges with setting a brand direction is that for us as marketers, designing, living, breathing, writing, creating assets from a standard at some point, probably fairly quickly with a group of creatives, gets old. It gets stale to us. Even to us in the company as a whole. We see our logo all the time. We see our templates all the time. And so as creatives, we want to try to tweak things. We want to try and add some excitement or some flair to it. But the reality is, as a brand, you need to have that consistency, because your customers aren't seeing this day in and day out. It comes across their desk, once a new project starts, or very rarely, honestly. So the brand is not as probably well known in outside of the walls of CS, which makes sense. So we have to be comfortable with staying the course, be holding those consistent methods and consistent guidelines, and having the brand guidelines, as you said, it's kind of been in play for years. And finally starting to lock them in and kind of disseminate that information and make sure that we're all recognizing what's right and maybe what's a little off is really important, so that we can maintain those brand standards. one of the pieces that we continue to wrestle with is the legacy pieces. There's so much literature, so much information across all of our 10 business or business groups, product families, that there's old logos, old brands that still exist in our documentation. And so making that a priority and going back and updating all of that stuff. I mean, we're goodness, I don't know, a year in, 2 years into like more of a consistent like one CS brand, and those pieces are still hanging out there. So making that a priority and getting them updated is something that we constantly try and be working on.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure we're going to have that for years to come. I mean,
I hope not, but yeah, you might be right.
Well, I mean, like we don't know about it until it services, really. You know,
right?
I mean,
there are some pieces like that.
Right.
Yes.
We tried to go back, but there's stuff in even probably architects' offices that still have the
for
slash.
Sure.
You know,
for sure. Yeah.
I
mean, I guess I wouldn't be surprised, but there may be some yellow binders.
Those were before my time for sure.
Still out in architect's office, which if any rep or internal people see one, I'd love to have one of those. So if you see one in the architect's office, please take it out, but and replace it with a clean one. But I'd love to have one.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, going back to the brand guidelines, like the whole point of it, I mean, I know you said lock it down, but it's not necessarily like lock it down to a particular parameter. It's, you can still have some feel with it, but giving, even same color, same, font family, just even from a type or a text standpoint, there's still some bandwidth to move left and right. But like, even from my standpoint as a video creator, you got to push the envelope in certain places,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's expected in some areas. I mean, like social media.
Sure.
You can't be doing the same thing, same templates all the time. In those areas, things change constantly. New trends pop up. And so, yeah, in some areas, you do have to have that flexibility. But I think still having those, like, the non-negotiable pieces of the brand really have to remain.
Right.
Without that, you don't really have a brand.
Yeah. And the big thing was, like, the tone of voice, even just how we're communicating.
Yeah.
Not, everybody thinks, oh, well, we got a new logo or, people building's better. Yeah, I get it. Mm-hmm. But then that's part of it.
Yeah.
But like, how are we speaking to them? How are we portraying ourselves as a company of people,
right.
And putting them first? And, we've always talked about being a solutions company. Well, yes, that's there, but we're not just those people,
Right.
We're still humans all in of itself. But, yeah, I mean, it's an ever living document, and, going from that age of, like broken out product groups where each person had their own marketing person.
Yep.
I mean, I came in right at the end of that transition, and like I was flabbergasted when I came in. Like
I mean, our information was so fragmented, and I mean, our sales channel at the time was, if you wanted multiple products from CS, you talk to multiple people.
Yeah, it was insane.
And that's quite a lift for an architect or a specifier.
I mean, I say it's insane as in, like, maybe at that time it worked.
Sure.
Like from a new age marketing standpoint, you'd be like, you are crazy if you're going to try to do that now.
Well, I mean, you think of the work that it took. I mean, the last 4 or 5 years.
Seriously.
We've been working on trying to get everything into standard templates, and there's still work to do, and there will be work to do for the next couple of years.
Yeah. So I remember my second day, I walked, like, we had just, so they were redoing the marketing basement, and they set my computer up right outside of EFS, and I'm like, well, if it's ready downstairs, I'll move down. So I go downstairs, and I think it was my second day, and I asked something about, like, EFS, and they're like, oh, you got to go talk to Alexa, right? I'm like, okay, well, what about EJC? Oh, you got to go talk to Amanda. I'm
right.
like, wait, you guys don't know this information? I mean, they did, but they're the expert there. They're the expert there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how is this even possible?
Yeah.
Let alone sell the product,
Right.
or cross brand it. But
Yeah, it is a challenge, though. I mean, for individuals to know, I'll say a significant depth. I mean, the expectation is not that you know every detail about every business unit, about every product, every model, but the surface information should be known by all.
yeah,
The solutions that we offer, the kind of some of the categories that we offer within that, and I don't think that's too much of an ask.
no, I agree. I mean,
and it's been working too.
even training a new employee, like it used to, we always said it would take 2 years for you to get up and knowledgeable about our entire business.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, I've seen Steele come in and he got up to speed pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's more connected now.
It could be, yeah. But I also think, I think that does still exist when you're talking about in-depth details
Sure.
and processes and systems and
Right.
I mean, we're talking about all the different configurations of specific models. That's going to take time to learn.
I still don't understand it, and I've been here 6 years. Like
Right,
I couldn't
yeah,
tell you
exactly.
right now what an SSR stands for an SSR 800.
Well, we're not going to talk about acronyms.
We love our acronyms here at CS, don't we?
Yes, our TLAs.
Holy,
yeah.
what are they? TLAs?
TLAs, 3-letter acronyms.
Oh, that is pretty fun. See, I didn't know that one either. But yeah, I mean, again, being all connected, I think though it has helped us move into the new age and being more digital, at least with even our materials, I think has helped us tremendously along the way.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be two sides to that coin, right? Digital versus print, and I think we, as marketers, we want to go digital because that's the easier option, right? From a management standpoint, we do know there are things that need to be printed, and we'll make that available to the degree that we can. So yeah, I mean, we're trying to be as flexible as possible to serve and deliver and help the needs that are in the market for sales for the customers. We certainly do try and do that. And I mean, one of the goals that we have for this year is to really try and get out in the field more.
Yeah.
To experience what it's like in an architect's office or an interior designer's office, what their libraries look like. In some cases, the chaos of
Sure.
those libraries.
It's always been a goal of mine, at least, to get out into there because you sit in your desk and you're like, oh yeah, I know what's going on out there. Like, oh, I can market it this way or I can put it this way. I have no clue.
Right.
Even some of the terms like specs or stuff like that. Like, I have no idea how that stuff's even talked about or even
Right.
created. So just even understanding how this whole process works, I think would be beneficial for everybody involved to get a look at that.
Yeah.
But
Yep. I think just the basics of the construction process would be helpful for all of us to understand. I mean, there is so many stages for a project that it has to go through. I mean, there are methods that are selected, and then the project has to follow those steps and those stages, and knowing the information that's needed at each of those stages is really important.
yeah.
You don't want to be talking about what could be when you're kind of past that bid stage and they've already selected products.
Sure.
You want to be talking about how it's easier to install these systems and giving them the right information at the right time.
Yeah, I definitely don't understand it. I mean, then you hear about getting value engineered and then you're like, well, where does that fit in the process? Like, did we get all the way through the bid? They got this product and they're like, I hate this product, so then I'm going to go get this product and put it back on. Like,
there are so many ways that projects can shift. And,
It's
and we
amazing.
can be there, and then all of a sudden we're not because of this, and then there's a kind of a triage moment.
Yeah.
of let's save the project.
It's crazy.
It can get a little crazy.
So let's go back a little bit to what you said earlier about, all the different types of marketing materials. What do you think is, so I obviously know that that we create a ton of different materials,
Mm-hmm.
right? Brochures, flyers, videos, all sorts of different things, graphics even. But like, what do you see currently as a challenge with those, getting them into the marketplace so they can be used the proper way? And I guess by that, what I mean is with us having such a plethora of options, right? How can we get the, quote unquote sales team to know hey, all of this stuff is here for your taking. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, to your point, there's tons of assets and say information pieces that we create for specific purposes.
Sure.
And I think creating the awareness of everything that's available. Obviously, we're in the throes of creating a new website. The goal with that new site is to make it easier to get the information that's needed. But yeah, as far as our internal communications, it is a challenge. When we get a request, oftentimes we deliver the request back to the requester. And then, it's there's more use cases than just that one requester that asked for it.
Right.
So we've had several conversations actually of how do we better communicate and make sure that we're communicating the intention behind the piece. What was the ask, and we created it as such with these features to be able to meet those requests. So coming out with or developing a way to be more intentional with our communications and more broad with those communications. I think some of the new things that have come online, I think I can still call them new, although they've been around for a while. There's still people that haven't fully engaged. So I think of the foundation, the C-Sync or Sync, depending on how you want to say it.
It's Sync.
For you, it's Sync?
It's Sync.
There's a lot of C-Syncers out there.
I've heard it many different ways. It's 100% Sync.
All right, you've heard it here first.
Yes.
So, yeah, using those and making sure that we're communicating out what's been created, the intention behind the piece. But the reality is, because those platforms, I don't know, Sync has been around for a while. I would hope that everybody's using it. But, I mean, as much as we communicate, it's still incumbent on our folks to be engaged with those and following the information that's coming through those channels. So I guess one plug I'll say is make sure that you're on the foundation on a regular basis, daily even. There's new information, there's exciting information. You can learn a whole bunch of things about our people and our folks and what's happening in other operations. And I know that's a developing platform. Sync's been around a little longer, but making sure that you're reading the articles, you're seeing what's available, and trying them out. I mean, I think that's the other thing. Sometimes when we push out a new piece, it's like, I'll wait and see if that's it sticks around.
Yeah.
But we'd love. Oftentimes we deliver a piece and we don't even get feedback right away.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It'd be great to have more of that dialogue. But
Right.
yeah, the communication piece of it's available is really important.
Yeah, I mean, take this podcast for example, right?
Yeah.
If you weren't on the foundation or didn't get on the foundation, you wouldn't know it's there. Right. And be honest, talk about it too. Like, hey, I saw this thing on the foundation. Go check it out quick.
Right.
Or send a link out.
Yeah.
It's a little preposterous to think that, okay, if selfishly, if I create a video, what am I going to send a mass email to the whole company
Yeah.
and be like,
Yeah.
hey, look, new video.
Yep.
That's not going to happen. That's absurd, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have how many different types of channels? We have YouTube, we have Facebook, we have LinkedIn, Instagram,
Yep.
the foundation, Sync. There's tons of stuff out there. And if you like something or you see something and you're like, oh, hey, maybe this could be, it's created for Acrovan. maybe something like this could be created for architectural products or something like that. Like, contact us, right? That collaboration is always open.
Yeah.
And we love to hear about it. We're, quite honestly, you do it to me all the time. If you see something cool on Instagram or, LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever, like, send it to us.
Yeah.
We're always looking to try some new stuff. It's like, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, and that's what keeps the following, I'll say, excited, the followers excited.
Right.
Trying something new. I think sometimes we're afraid to try something new, and the reality is it might work.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think we're not we, just even as a company, but like people in general, like, why do you think you're afraid to try something new?
Oh, I think we're all creatures of habit, right?
Okay.
You have once you kind of find a way of doing something and it works for you, you kind of stick to it.
Sure.
We have our routines, right? Our routines have been established over years. So to get comfortable with change is not easy. And to try something new, there's always an element of risk.
So you think
it could work, it might not. What's the backlash going to be?
So that's where I was going to get to. Like,
yeah.
I don't look at it necessarily as you're stuck in this traditional routine. I look at it as people are afraid that they're going to get backlash or reprimanded for just trying something different, right? Which again is also crazy, judging by the fact of like even how CS says like, oh, we're going to make these stairs that go, like Willy Wonka. They can go left, right, up, down, and zigzag if they want.
Yep.
Like we're so it's so ingrained in our DNA to try a solution when nobody else will.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to other stuff like this, like pushing the envelope or whatever, like people are like, I don't know if we should do that right now.
Yeah, there's some calculated risks that just we need to be okay with it. Right?
Yeah. Right. Just have some fun. Again, going back with the brand guidelines, right? That's part of the personality.
Yeah.
Like CS is a solutions driven. Solutions doesn't just have to be in product.
Right.
It can be in marketing. It can be in advertising. It can be in sales.
Yeah.
I've always said from the beginning when I started, like, we weren't in a position, video wise at least, we weren't in a position to not try anything. Like, we didn't have the following that we have now. Right. So you could throw spaghetti at the wall and see if it stuck. And if it didn't, okay, like you're making a new
Sounds like an Ackerman video. Maybe.
You've got my you've got my wheels turning.
I saw that.
Yeah.
A little smoke.
No, but I don't
well, we'll take the sustainability video, for example. We have never done a video like that.
No.
It felt uncomfortable.
In what way? It felt uncomfortable doing it or asking
So the
to
topic
do it,
of sustainability is serious. And our brand is serious. I think there's a fun side to our brand. But how to stretch or how to simplify and have a little fun with a serious topic felt a little on the edge.
Sure.
At least for me. Going through it, I'm like, are we doing the right thing? Is this okay? The results are yet to be determined. Will we get some backlash once this thing starts to surface a little bit more in public? Maybe. But I think the intention behind that, for sustainability, I think for any I'll say topic to kind of catch on and gain traction, it needs to be simplified to where the majority of people can get on board with it.
Sure.
Can understand, like, how do I do it? What steps can I take? Do I understand it to the degree that I can make some impact there? And that's truly our goal for sustainability is how do we simplify it? How do we make it lighter, easier to understand?
Right.
And I think the video does that. And I'm pretty excited to see where it goes. We've already got some initial feedback of that's pretty cool. I like that. I hadn't seen that before. It was very genuine.
Yeah.
And that's always our goal is to communicate pieces that are genuine, fun. Yeah, I think that's just how we want to continue.
Yeah, and I mean, there's always going to be trolls,
Sure. Oh,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Like, I'm convinced right now if Mother Teresa had an Instagram, people would troll her,
100%.
right? Like, oh, you're this, you're that. Come on.
That's the
right?
that's the engagement piece of it, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's comical. We talk about social media specifically of like these companies that they know the algorithm works through engagement, and so I think we had talked about it on the social media topic in some of our team meetings of a company would create a post and then have a dummy account that comes in with some controversial point and kind of like sparks debate over that post. And it's all fabricated, and yet that engagement behind it is what boosts their post and makes it go viral potentially. It's wild.
Social media is I bet you I don't even know 1% of how it all works.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
It is. It really is.
And I don't even know if I want to know how it happens. Right?
We should, I
Like,
guess, but
I know what you
I know what you mean.
You shouldn't have to create a dummy account to boost your posts by saying dogs
that's gaming
are,
that's
dogs
gaming
are
the
ugly.
system.
Yeah. But still, nonetheless, right? People do it. I mean, look at bots and everything else. Like, it's absolutely bananas.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Well, what we have here is we have a bowl of our Akravan resin, which is now 50% post-consumer recycled product.
Content. There you go.
Yeah, close enough.
It's a lot of plastic.
It has some fun questions in it. Would you...
Does it, like, questions like how many water bottles are in one sheet of Akravan?
No, but that's 130.
About. Give or take.
It's 130.
Exactly?
Yeah, sure. I've broken it down. But there's a couple of questions in here. I'm gonna say we could do two of them. Do you want to pick them, or do you want me to pick them?
I'm gonna pick them.
You're gonna pick them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So pick one out, and we'll both answer it. You can pick whatever. Don't stare at him, you cheater. Okay, he's gonna pick that one. Uh-oh.
I'll let you read that.
No, you read it.
Oh, I read it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can read
All
it.
right.
You picked it.
Is this a question for you?
It's going to be a question for both of us,
all
but
right.
I'll let you answer first, unless you want me to. I don't really care.
Swear words are bad.
Oh, boy.
Agree or disagree, and why?
Do you want to answer that first, or you want me to?
Oh, I'll answer it.
Okay.
I'll answer it. I don't swear. Oh, I try not to. So I agree. Swear words are bad.
You agree?
I agree. Yes. And why? I've always thought that I should be able to more intelligently describe the way I'm feeling than a swear word.
Okay.
That's my position.
That's fair. I mean, I mean, most of you that probably know me know I swear. I'm going to disagree with that, just by the fact of, like, I think it's okay in certain situations, right? They're adjectives. It's not like they're any different word, like bagel. Like, at some point somebody in history looked at that word and was like, no, you can't say that. That's bad. What did that guy have? Like, why did he get the choice of saying that was bad? But nonetheless, they can be used very rudely. I will get that.
Yes.
And I don't think that's necessarily correct. Or so I'll agree on that point.
Okay.
But in the terms of, like, just enhancing the passion in your story,
they are attention getters.
Oh, absolutely.
I think the odd thing for me is that they're often used incorrectly.
Well, they're so versatile in how they can be used.
But they all have a definition.
They do, but you could use it completely different ways.
Yeah.
Right? But like,
All right.
I mean, if I were to sit here and say, right?
I hope you beep that out.
But if I were like there, no harm comes to anybody by it. But if I were to say like, oh, like you are a, then like now that becomes derogatory,
Right.
and that's wrong,
Right.
That's very disrespectful. That doesn't need to happen.
Right.
But like if I say like, you know, I couldn't even give you an answer on how to say it. Like
Without beeping it all out.
yeah, but it's like if it's used properly, I'm okay with it. If it's used
Fair
in a course of passion, like
Yeah.
of like, you know, I'm very passionate about what I'm saying here, and it slips out, like I don't feel it's a reprimandable thing. But again, I'd like to meet the guy that also said that these were terrible words,
Yeah.
because I'd like to know what the swear words were before he came up with these ones, or like,
Well, and why haven't, or maybe they have. Like with new generations, we get new terms.
sure.
Why haven't the swear words changed?
I mean, maybe they have, and we're just so old and we don't get it. But like, also to that point, like, why are there different levels of swear words? Like hell is like a 1 on the 1 to 10 scale, but you get to the queen mother of all dirty words, and it's a 10.
Yeah.
Like, why are they different?
One might be okay, but another one isn't. Yeah,
Exactly.
gotcha.
Like I don't see the
The swearing category hasn't been defined well enough.
yeah.
I think that's
They
what
need a
we've-
brand guideline. All right, I'll take that back. Do you
All
want-
right, you get to pick the next one.
I get to pick the next
Yep.
one. So I'll just blind pick
Yep.
it. No, actually, I won't blind pick it. So
Spill it all over the place.
let's go. I really don't know which ones are which here, so I'm just
Okay.
I'll blind pick it.
Yep.
Okay. Don't want to spill that. That
No,
would be a nightmare to
that'd be
pick
a mess.
up. Okay. If you had the right to award the worst movie in history, what movie would you give it to?
Oh my gosh, I mean, most people probably know I have 4 kids, all under the age of 8. My movie brain is like animated cartoon.
Yeah. Like
Um,
Paw Patrol and
I don't like Paw Patrol.
no, yeah. It is a great concept though.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. A lot of movies are.
Yeah.
You go.
Yeah, I have one.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm sure you do.
It can be a spoiler alert if that's the case. It is the worst movie of all time. It's called Open Water. Okay? It's about
Nobody's heard about this.
this is an actual movie. Have you heard of Open Water?
No.
This is an actual movie. You can IMDb it or Google it, whatever you want to do. It's about these people that go out on a like snorkeling trip, and they're I'm not going to give the whole movie, but like they get miscounted, right? So they think they have everybody back on the boat and leave, and then you have an hour and a half of these people floating in the ocean. Right?
Yeah.
Now, the worst part, for like 30 minutes of the movie is nighttime.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be suspenseful of like, oh, there's sharks around. And then a lightning storm comes. And then every now and then you get a flash of light like you're having a seizure of sorts.
Yeah.
And it's literally just water sounds like and these people just floating for an hour and a half. Spoiler,
I feel like that's similar to what was the movie Perfect Storm?
some that was a shipwreck, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just
Just nobody got rescued.
no. Again, spoiler, they die. Like that's how the movie ends.
Yeah.
Nobody comes to pick them up because how are they going to contact people? They do like I guess come out and kind of search for them, but because they get back and they're like, "Where's Tom and Janet?" I don't know if that's their names.
Yeah.
But it's absurd. It is the worst movie. I wasted an hour and a half of my life watching 2 people float in the friggin' ocean.
Oof.
It was horrible.
I would agree. Let's both agree on that one. That's
Okay.
the worst movie.
But you have to have one.
I really don't. I think we need to ask another question.
Oh, okay. We can ask another question. You
Movies are not my
you
my
choose.
forte.
You choose this one then.
Oh, man. What is the conspiracy theory that you believe? How political are we going to get on this?
Hey, it's what you believe. This is learning about Anthony.
Conspiracy theory.
We all know that I am quite the conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
So I like a lot of these things, and I like to hear new ones.
All right. I don't believe the moon landing happened.
Fair enough. That's a good one.
Why?
Why?
Why haven't we gone back?
Dude, you don't have to explain it to me. You're explaining it to them because I'm already on board.
We're still celebrating like people getting into space. Like, so why hasn't there been more exploration of the moon if we've been there? How long ago was that? 40, 60?
69, right?
Okay, so a long time ago.
Yeah.
Why haven't we been back?
So
I don't think it happened.
So I don't think it happened. And, hey, Buzz Aldrin, you're probably a national hero. Neil Armstrong,
I love the guy.
National hero. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I don't think we went. So if you go back to the history of it, right? We were trying to get onto the moon, space exploration, the whole 9 yards.
Space race.
In 62, I think it was 62, we tried and we failed horribly. I don't even think we made it like out of the
ozone.
It was horrible, and we weren't even close.
Yeah.
Right. And then somehow within 7 years,
I mean, a lot can happen in 7 years.
Not in the 60s.
All right, that's fair.
From 62 to 69, you say we completely figure out how to make a rocket and land somebody on a moon so that they can walk. That is absurd. Absolute absurdity. Think about 7 years now.
Yep.
Okay. What could happen in 7 years? So from, let's say,
everything's at a faster pace.
2010 to 2017. Even in chip cards for like these cameras, we went from the highest in 2010 was like a 32 gig.
32 gig, yeah.
Maybe.
So and now 6 terabytes
you
or
can
whatever.
You can get 6 or 7 terabytes.
Yeah.
I get it, but it's not that big of a leap of.
It's the same. It's the same concept, just packed tighter.
Correct. Exactly. It's not like you are building some ridiculous rocket.
Yeah.
Or ridiculous,
That's fair.
technology.
That's fair.
I'll be on board with that one.
All right.
I don't know about the I mean, you can do anything with video. Like I could make you look like you have 7 eyes and you're purple. Like the video landing of the moon.
In the 60s?
Sure you could. I mean, we had movies back then.
Yeah, that's true.
You could do anything.
Yep.
I mean, I'll oblige. There's probably people out there that believe it happened. And
for sure.
So be it.
For sure, yeah.
It's called a conspiracy theory, and I can believe what I want to believe.
Yep.
But I believe you.
All right, cool. We agree.
Let's see. For me, I don't believe Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone.
Oh, those things never happen alone.
Not even close.
No.
And I don't believe he acted alone.
There's a gang.
There was something. Jesse, I saw this thing, Jesse the Body Ventura. You know who he is?
No.
Okay. He's the governor of like Minnesota, but he was a wrestler and whatever, it doesn't matter. But he was some sort of military, Marine, Army, I'm not sure. But he was classified as like one of the top snipers in his time. Mm-hmm. And he went back with the same gun to the same place and tried to shoot 3 times within that time frame
to replicate
what
had happened. Yeah.
And it couldn't happen. And that's
somebody must have been a better shot than him.
Yeah, but that's with top sniper, like even from like the 80s.
Yeah.
That's the top sniper with the new technology.
Yeah.
You're telling me that happened, in what was that, 60 something?
I don't remember what year it was.
67, 64. I don't even remember. 64 maybe. But still, obviously, a national tragedy, and doesn't matter how it happened. It obviously happened. But I I think that's, I think that, I don't know.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. So, well,
Okay.
nonetheless.
There
Hey,
it is.
thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely.
We will be back at another time with another episode with a new person. So,
That's kind of how these things work, right?
hopefully, right? maybe I'll just be sitting here by myself one day and talking to myself.
That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise anybody, but it'd be weird.
Not even close. So if you'd like to be involved, reach out to me.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to talk it out, let's talk it out. So,
Agreed.
all right.
Cool. Thank you, Cody.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
See ya.
Bye.